combat experiences are troublesome, but also sometimes just seeing things unrelated to combat can be difficult. I have a friend who was in mortuary affairs, stateside. You know, all he saw was, this is not funeral service. This is dealing with the bodies coming back in bags. And he's one of the worst cases of PTSD I've ever seen. Man's never even seen combat, you know, but he's got a lot of guilt and he's got a lot of traumatic, horrible visions. I mean, one of the worst things of combat is seeing your comrades fallen. And that's what his job was. When I first came back, everything was kind of a blur. I mean, honestly, I spent a few more months in the Corps before I got out. I got out and I really felt stripped. You know, I didn't feel, I went home for a few weeks and I just didn't feel like it was home anymore. So I left. I ended up going to visit a friend of mine in his town, you know, another U.S. Marine that I'd served with. Just visited him, kind of liked his town, moved in, got an apartment, worked out there for a little while. I had been experiencing, you know, symptoms of PTSD and kind of been pretending like, you know, it didn't exist, more or less, just looking the other way. I remember I had to, at one point, there was a body that was just sitting just down the hill from me. It was an Afghan, you know. Well, I can't say for certain that he was an Afghan. He was Taliban, though. You know, not all Taliban is Afghan, you know. Certainly, you know, most of them actually come from other places. But he had died in a firefight the day before, and he was just sitting out there. And just had to sit there and listen to the animals get to him. I was in a foxhole, just sitting there in the dark, listening to that, you know. And then in the morning, you can see what happened, you know. And the next day, and it just got a little disturbing. Those thoughts kind of come back. I guess it was just the lack of humanity. There is almost like a deliberate attempt to view the enemy as just an animal. You know, just something, you know, and it's strange because we're winning hearts and minds of the people. And the people and the enemy look exactly the same. The enemy blends back into the population as soon as they're done fighting you. You know, how is it that they're animals one minute and, you know, they're your friend serving you tea the next minute? You know? Yeah. It's just too difficult to change that mindset, you know? I don't know, it's like I didn't hate my enemy, and, you know, and the general population of Afghanistan, you know, I didn't fully trust, you know, because you can't really tell the difference between either one of them. You get so used to having a rifle. You know, I used to get these fears. I'd be sitting at a table, and I'd get up and I'd walk away, and I'd feel as though I had left something there, like I had forgotten my rifle somewhere. You know, and right from boot camp, they tell you never forget your rifle. Never, you know, that thing is permanently a fixture in your hand. You know, it's constantly there. And to even imagine life without a rifle is scary. I just couldn't deal with that. I had to have something there. It was like a pacifier, just to keep something there, to kind of keep me company, just to sort of If I have something nearby, I feel safer. Even though I know I'm in America and there's no Mujahideen, there's no Taliban or Al-Qaeda hiding in the darkness for me, I just felt safe having something there all the time. I love America. I just didn't feel like America loved me. You know, I didn't feel the sense of warmth that I felt while I was in service. You know, and it's like I had just come back from war, and I sort of expected that warmth that I had felt while they were sending me off would still be there. And it wasn't. There was just nothing there. It was just empty. I wasn't surprised that America didn't know the sacrifices that we make. You know, I wasn't surprised that there was no one, I guess, to tell our story. You know, but I mean, most of my troubles were spent, you know, far away in a distant land, you know, cold and hungry and tired and miserable, and there's nobody there to tell about that. Something is changed. You know, you feel down to your spirit, you know, that you're different now. And it's like you don't really know your spirit until it's been damaged. You know, we don't really have a consciousness of our own spirit until it's wounded, and then it needs help.